Hello, welcome back. I'm going to still continue to talk about the book King Paimon, the book that I have written and published on Amazon. It's called King Paimon, The Lord of the Endless Silence, The Lord of the Abyss, and it is a very interesting book. I have spoken in different recordings on this playlist about the book itself, and there's always a different interest that one can take when it comes to Paimon or the book itself and so on. And today I would still like to talk about the book, of course, about Paimon, and some other things that so to say appear or are related to the writing process or any type of work for the book that I have done. The work has was somehow a longer time. I took like 3 months, and it was like a slower process, but almost like every day to edit the text, to correct, and so on and so forth. It was, as I said, a large text. It is a large book, and the editing part, the correction of the text, the arrangement of the text in the book took some time. At the same time, it went quite fast once I had the idea how to write it, and I followed the steps, and I arranged the text the way I liked it. I enjoyed the process of arranging the text. It is a hymn, and that's why it's a little bit different. I didn't want to write chapters. I didn't want to write sometimes I like the story to not be interrupted. In general, when I write novels, I don't write chapters. In some there are, but if just a few, or it's just like a second part of the story. But in Paimon, it's just one hymn that comes from first page until the end. There's a certain rhythm that goes to the story itself through the hymn. That's why I chose the hymn specifically for this book. And it is I did 2 recordings with the readings from the book itself, and like part 1 and part 2, where I read from the book. Of course, there's the part when the book starts, when Paimon talks. It is a little bit different, and the story changes. There's like different parts of the story itself as well. The main thing is of course the beginning. It's always, as I've said, the most interesting part. Then it's almost like the story unfolds. There's a certain type of a breeze of air that enters into the story. It's almost like you open a book, and the first pages, and then the story develops. And there are different settings into the book, in the stories. There's first Paimon on his throne, then it is the Paimon meeting the girl in the market, then the travel through the desert, then almost to say their vows in the desert, their marriage, and then the travel further on, so to say, back home. There's the idea of the travel. Of course, King Paimon is always represented on a camel, on dromedare, so there's always the idea of travel through the desert. And this time he doesn't travel alone, he travels with a girl, and this is a more intimate type of setting. Once he meets the girl, there's almost like a one-to-one type of conversation or relationship, and through the desert they get to know each other better. And then they have the night in the desert, where it's very quiet. The sky, it's very silent, and blue, beautiful sky with the stars. And then you have Paimon and the girl, his future bride. They sit by the fire, they talk. There's this idea of the intimate fire, the fire, or the love that burns between them. There's the idea of, at the same time, they talk. There's always the intimate times where they talk with each other. And then there's the vows, the wedding, so to say, the moment when they choose to marry each other. And then the travel goes through the desert as well. There's so to say the idea of is to traverse it and to find the water. Paimon is leading with the dromedare, and there's this beautiful aspect of the desert, of the silence, of the time. And it is of course connected to Paimon specifically for the book. No, it is very, very much Paimon. No, it's the title. No, it's a book about Paimon or for Paimon or to represent Paimon. It is a story, of course. It's in a way a book. No, I have written, and it is very, almost like fantasy in some way. There's different aspects. There are more beautiful aspects than one. No, there's a multitude of different stories that come through the book. And the others too, of course, about Paimon specifically, it's not correlated to the girl. It's also say from the past. No, it's very much connected to the past Paimon, the stories from the past, or his travels now from the past through different places. So there's this feeling now that we get to know Paimon more, or we get to understand now through different almost to say testimonies or stuff like that. At the same time, the main focus now is once the girl enters in the picture, the Paimon meets, the story changes. There's a new wind that comes with it. Now there's I want to say from west to east. Now there's a certain travel. Doesn't matter necessarily. There's a specific point that they travel towards, and that's the how to say, the novelty. Now there's the idea of where the travel goes and what the journey brings. No, and there's the element of music, of silence, of the song, of Paimon, no? As a traveler, as his journey through, different places, and then with the girl through the desert, it's a new journey, no? That they take upon. And I have described in the book the meeting of him now with the girl, the scene at the market, or there where the girl was playing the music, and then as I said, the big part of the book is the travel itself. The moment they come together, and that's like the main part, the second big main part of the book, the most the longest. No, that's where the book focuses mostly on, and. It is quite interesting now because it is a large book, 745 pages, but in this hymn form there's a certain rhythmus that one reads and goes through the story. It's very pleasant, very easy, almost like reading from memory. There's a certain type of repetition of words. That's the work that I've done on the text as well. And there are, of course, many other things that one can say about the book. Me as the author, I'm always focus mostly on the work that I have done, or the different aspects that I've tried to mirror or to show. Almost to say, well, the book has to have a story. I chose to be a love story, something very beautiful that's connected to the past and connected to the elements that Paimon represents as well. I took a lot of study or different different ways now that I've tried to create a beautiful image, a beautiful picture. And it is, for me, it is nice that it's a large book. I'm very happy about the size of the book. Until now it's my largest book. In general I write 200, 300, 400 pages, but for Paimon was different. It's my largest book until now, and I don't know if I will write bigger books, but this is for now definitely almost like double. I did write a book where I have two books now, book 1 and book 2, which together they make this amount of pages, but for him and for Paimon, as for one book, it was like very specifically like that. And it of course it is part of Paimon. It is correct. Some parts sentences are longer, some are shorter. Sometimes the story moves faster, sometimes slower. There's a certain rhythm to the story as well. Of course, all these aspects is to make the reader to read, to be attracted to the book, to have an easy read, a good read. There's aspects that I do in the text or the work, so the reader has an easy read in that way, no? Even if it's not easy book or easy read, it's not necessarily about making it easy, but correcting and making sure that there are no mistakes, or that the text flows in a nice way. That's like I work on the body of the text of the book. It doesn't matter which one, but in Paimon I worked very specifically and very organized, very detailed. And once I had the way I want to do it, and I just had to go through the text. I went many times. I go before correction, before publishing. There's always a lot of reading that I have to make sure there are no mistakes. In general, in books, I have to go a few times over and over. Depends how long, but I try to correct too as I go. Writing it and making it, to make sure. Or when I correct it, I don't make mistakes. That I'm very careful when I change something in the text. And it is a grimoire, so it has it's part of the more number of pages, because it's very huge, big description. There's a story that goes into it. There are different elements, and I could not have written a short book or anything like that. It was the start of the book, and then I kept it going, as much as I could. The story has as many elements as one can have. It's almost to say it's like a slow read, or it can be a slow read. And of course, each page has something interesting or something new. The story develops. Even if it's a hymn, it is still a story. It's just written in hymn. So it is not a empty philosophical hymn. It is it has a story. It speaks about a character. It has like different meanings. One can enjoy, one can read, and even towards the end, there's a lot of love letters or vows. It's very, very beautiful. So there's I want to say the travel itself. It's almost to say, well, the feeling of Paimon in the book as much as I could. So there is this element of course, as I said, it's as the title. It's a book about King Paimon, and it has some historical parts too. At the same time, it is fictional. It's a book. I created. It's my idea. It's my vision, or my inspiration, or my work, my creation. The book itself, the story. And that's the beautiful thing as a writer. And that's like, of course, the joy, to have it ready, or to see it published, or to have the cover, to see the book itself in paper. It's always like a big joy. I would say, well, I never had such a big book as Paimon. So many pages. That's something that makes me happy. And at the same time, it is still a good read. It is not something that say, well, I will never be able to read so much, because one can. There's it's a question of time as well. But one can read from Paimon, or read it all, or parts from it. There's this element. That depending on situation, maybe one has the book and doesn't read it immediately, but later on, or it's still a beautiful book to have and to own. And it is a large book. I did offer the Kindle version of the text in case someone wants to read it on the phone. But I always recommend the book. Of course, it's paper. It's a different experience. When one reads a book, not necessarily digital, but for people who need, it's a great way too as well. Sometimes to read, but I always prefer the paper. For me, it's always I want to have, of course, especially with my book too, like to have it in paper, and that's the way I like to enjoy books. And it's just the entire thing, because you have the cover, paper, the text. It's a different feeling, And I know there are people out there who like to read a large book, so for those as well, it's not the feeling the book finished quick. I can enjoy it. pay amount of money, and then I can read a lot from it, no? And the moment, you know, one wants to read it, of course, you can find it online, as I've said, on Amazon. International, you can order it online. It's called King Paimon, written by me, Anais Giulia. I'm the author of the book, and you can always